topic. Rather, I'll be focusing on the revision of few topics which I got to know that you people have confusion. So first is the relational model we'll go through, and then later whatever things, because we have already almost on the verge of completion of third module. Okay, because we are going on the lab part, we are going simultaneously, so we have covered almost till third module. So we are only left with the fourth and the fifth module, and that for that modules to start with, your it's very mandatory that all other modules are cleared for you people. Okay, so today I'm going to like have a revision of the relational data model. So if you haven't understood, so today you can ask me questions also. Okay, just let me share. If I am using the slides, whatever I have shared in your Google Classroom only. So I hope everyone has seen the slide. We have gone through it. So just a basic revision. So relational data model. So you are working on now. I think now it will be more clear to you because you are using it. Okay, you are doing in SQL. You are using it. So I hope this is now clear. Relational data model. So relational means it will consist of some kinds of tables. So it was developed. The model was proposed by a man uh, named Dr. E.F. Coate. He researched in the IBM laboratory in the year 1970. Okay, so and that his research came in the paper, a relational model for large shared data banks. Okay, communication for the ACM. So in this paper, like it was done in the ACM paper. It was ACM paper. So you won't probably understand what is an ACM paper once you go for research. You will know it that these are very high standards of research. Okay, so any like whenever the relational model they talk about relational model, always remember relational model was given by a man named E.F. Coate. So the first commercial implementation of the relational model became available in the early 1980s. So it was proposed in the year 1970. The research was done in 1970. Okay, but it got commercially available in the year 1980. Such as first DBMS software, we had the Oracle software or the SQL data system, the DS system, and the NVS operating system. Okay, okay, just hold on. Okay, so this all this MySQL came later. Okay, MySQL or whatever Oracle you people use right now. We can go for Oracle VBMS also. So nowadays in companies, there people don't follow this MySQL and everything. They go for NoSQL thing. So okay, so big data has come in a lot of years back. So there people are moving for this big data. But going using big data requires that you have some knowledge for the MySQL and everything, because you should know what how SQL, how database works. So the main concept starts here. Okay, relational model concepts. So basically, we know that a relational model represents a database as a collection of relations. So we have seen in SQL, relations means it will in a database. We have seen lots of relations and lots of tables we can create, right? Suppose we have created our own database student, okay, using the create database function. After that, what we can do, we can create like lots of tables in it. So that is the relation. Okay. So a relation looks like a table of values. It typically contains a set of rows. So we have seen it. The relation is contains a set of rows will contain. Basically, it's a table only. It will contain a set of rows and columns. And here rows are, I think by this time it may be clear that rows are known as tuples and column are known as attribute. Okay, so the data type describing the type of the value that can appear in each column is represented by a domain of possible values. Now we have seen various attributes. Okay, we have seen like for in primary key we are going for this integer. For like first name we have went for the varchar data type. So and also for date we are using the date of birth we are using the date data type. But you see there are a lot of format for date also. Similarly for varchar also we have like various set of values, but we can use any one of them. Okay, we can use any one of them. So suppose in the first row we are using the date like as dd. In that format only we can enter, and this is known as the atomic. These are this certain set of values are known as the domain. Okay, every integer will have its own domain. Then similarly varchar will have its own domain. So this such a atomic, and this data type describing the type of values it can contain is known as the domain. So this is how a relational table looks like. Here you can see the student is the name of the table. That is the name of the relation. Name, SSN, home phone, address, office phone, age, GPA are what are the attributes, and all the values we are seeing for this. And all the other values we are seeing here, the rows are known as the tuples. Okay. Just now let's study more about the domain is. So just we discussed that domain is a set of values of any attribute. Okay, so that an attribute can take. So and these values needs to be atomic. Okay, so here it's written. Your example is given here, right? For date we have YYMM DD, or we can anyone can write DD YYY or some other format. Someone can even write that first date, then the month as MON or something, that is 3 letters of a month, and then the 2 letters of year. So there are separate formats for data there, but we'll be using the same format. So these are the domain of values it has. A domain of values date has, but we have to choose any one. Till this point, domain, any confusion? See, this is just a revision. Yes, any confusion? Someone? No, man.
Ma'am, no confusion.
Okay. Let me explain the domain part again. I'm explaining it to you. Okay. Just wait. Okay, I'm taking a PowerPoint. So let me take, okay, for date, we can have different formats. Like someone can write DD, MM, YYY. Even this is possible. DD, MMM, then YYYY. This is also possible. So also we can have YYY, then YYY, maybe MMDD. Okay. Also we can have MMDD, YYY. So separate. So these are the values that date can contain. Right? What we will choose out, this is known as the domain. Sorry. This is known as the domain of values for date, but we will choose any one out of it. So that is why we said it needs to be atomic. If in one row we are using this format, for all the other rows we need to use the same format. We cannot go for any other format. Okay? These are the domain values we have. So these all values together form a, this set of values together form a domain. Okay. So, and we should always remember when we are entering value for anything, okay, any attribute, we should remember for every row that it needs to be atomic. We should use the same thing. We should use the same format for every row. Not like we can, in one row we use this format, in another row we are using this format. It is not possible. Okay. Just let's go back now. Okay. Now, what is a tuple? So, tuple we know it's a basically a row. That's a combination of it's basically a combination of values. What the a row consists of, right? So here it is written here in angle braces. Remember, this is just a theoretical concept. In this tuple, we represent by checking this angle braces. We understand that this is a tuple. But when we write in SQL, do we use this angle brackets? No, right? We use the normal, the what bracket, first bracket, whatever we say that first bracket, which one you use, we go for the insert into table values, then we go for the normal, first brackets, right? We don't use this angle braces. This angle braces, but when we like represent a tuple in normal theoretical concept, we make understood using this angle braces a tuple, but in SQL we go for this first bracket only, so don't get confused. Okay. Yes, students, please tell me if you are confused or not. No one has a confusion, because I got this question that why we use this angle bracket, but in SQL when you are inserting the values you are using the first bracket, but here you are using the angle bracket. So just let me tell you, this is just a theoretical concept. In SQL we will be using for entering into the values, we will be using the first bracket only. Okay, so each value is derived from an appropriate domain. So obviously every value into domain, like I gave you an example for date, right? You will choose any single value from that domain. Similarly for number, also for phone number, you will choose any phone number. So whenever, suppose here you see, this row contains 4 values. Okay, that is, yes, 4 values, because it is the number that, in data type again we have varchar, we have address varchar, and then we have phone number. So it consists of 4 values. That is why it is known as 4 tuples. Okay, so a relation is said to be a set of such tuples. It's a combination of such tuples. Any confusion? Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Moving back to relational schema, so we know what is the schema looks like, how does, because when we type, whenever in the SQL we have created the table using the create table command, you can check your schema using the DESC, right? You can go through it using the DESC. So here we know the schema or description of a relation is denoted by R of A1, A2, AN. So where A1, A2, AN are the attributes, that is the column name, and R is the relation name. Okay, that is a table name. So here you see they have taken customer ID, customer name, address, phone number. So you see customer is the name of the table, and customer ID, customer name, address, phone number are the attributes of the relation. Okay. Now each attribute has a domain or a set of valid values. Now all this customer ID or customer name, address will have some certain set of values. We can go for this integer, like we'll use different data types for it, right? And every data type will have different set of values. So a domain has, each attribute has a domain or set of valid values. For example, the domain of customer ID is 6-digit number. So every, like you can give any number. So we have used the customer ID, we have gone to the student ID, we have used 3-digit number. So 3-digit number, it can be anything, right? Now see, Formally in a relational schema denoted by this one, and each A of I is the name of the role played by some domain in a relation. So right, it's the attribute. So D is the domain of A and is denoted by dom of A of I. The degree or arity of a relation is the number of attributes. So I just discussed in the last class also that the degree of any relation is the number of attributes. Okay, and the degree is also known as the arity. Okay, the relation state R of the relation schema R of A1, A2, An is denoted by, sorry, okay, just wait, okay. So relation state R of the relation schema R of A1, A2, An is denoted by, okay, just wait, this screen is giving problem. Reset it. So here you can see the small r means the number of tuples t1, t2 to tn, and each int n tuple is an ordered set of values. So obviously we know this tuple will contain some values where vi ranges from 1 is to n of element. Okay, so r is called the intension. So capital R is known as the intension of a relation, and small r of capital R is known as the extension of a relation. Now we'll just check. My laptop was hanging this. So here we already know that in relational schema or in a table is known as a relation. Then column header is known as attribute. All possible column values are known as domain. Row is known as tuple. Table definition is a schema of a schema of a relation, and populated table is the table state of a relation. Okay, when the table is full, is known as the state of a relation. Now these are the things which are, I think you may have confused the relational model constraints. Okay, so since you have asked me about this confusion, so I'll just explain it to you. So we have known that constants are something that the table needs to hold. Okay, suppose we have seen that one of the constants was that we cannot give the we must have a unique table id, right? How a unique row or unique column with which it will identify from the other rows. Okay, like we have a roll number. So there are, like this, we have various types of constants. We have 5 types, I think. Domain
Ma'am, the
constants.
screen is not visible.
Not visible. Just
No, ma'am.
wait. My laptop is. Now, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, the constraints, you may have confusion in the constraints part. So, let me tell you, there are 5 types of constraints: domain constraint, key constraint, constraint on null values, entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint. Now, let's take this one by one. So we were discussing of the domain. So domain is nothing but a set of value for an attribute, right? So it will specify that within each tuple, the value of each attribute A must be atomic value from domain do dom of a domain of a. That means I told you, right, for date we may have different set of values for separate values are there, so that is known as the date. So for each tuple, that is for each row, we have to use the same format which we have used as the earlier one. So we can use any one of them. It's not meant, it's not like it will be wrong if you use like different formats in all the tuples in all the rows. So that is the domain constant. So like we have different data types. We have seen, right, in number data types we have when for like float we have, int we have. Similarly here, like it's short integer, integer, long integer, float, double, precision, float. Characters also have. So characters, boolean, fixed length. So if you are using a particular data type, you should use that only. Suppose you are going for integer, so use that integer only. Okay, you don't go for short integer or float number. It will not be acceptable. Next is key constraint. So, so what does this key constant mean? That suppose it may be possible that we in two tuples, we have two tuples, and in two tuples we have the attributes suppose as the um, SSN, then name, name, and then we have probably salary. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, name and salary, and you have age also. Okay, so you cannot have two tuples, two rows with the same value. Okay, that is the constraint you have. You cannot have same values for the two rows. Okay, so all elements of a set are distinct. Hence, all tuples in relation must also be distinct. Okay. Usually, like there are other subset of attributes of a relation schema R with the property that no two tuples in any relation state R should have the same combination of value for these attributes. Now just remember, like don't, if you are not understanding these words also, still I'm telling you, you should remember there should be no value that there should be no two tuples will have the same value. Now you see what is written. Suppose that we denote one such subset of attributes as sk. Sk is known as a super key. Okay, sk. Then for any two distinct tuples t1 and t2 in a relation state r of small r of capital R, we have t1 super key not equal to, so such an attribute. So we cannot have such an attribute where two tuples are equal. If we have, so if we have this condition, okay, so this is known as the super key of R. We will understand the super key concept once we move to the module for normalization. Then we will get a clear idea of it. We'll solve some questions. Okay, this key constant will be applicable in there only. Then constants on null. So null constants, we see that whether like we can enter some values which have if we give some attributes not null, then that attributes, like we have given name, uh, name, then the data type varchar, it cannot not null. That means that you cannot leave the names field empty. Okay, you are giving the constant, so it is basically it will contain whether you are not, or otherwise if you not give null, not null constant, then what happens, it can contain null also. Okay, so it's an easy one. Next is entity integrity constant. So entity, you know, it's it's like entity integrity you have seen. It is basically that your primary key, key cannot be null. That means this primary key, in your case also, your roll number cannot be null, right? Because your roll number is a unique identifier. Okay, so that key that is not possible for the primary key to be null, because it identifies the other row separate. Now is the last one. So people are confused in this referential integrity concept. So referential integrity is the foreign key or the foreign key constant. So it will have a referencing relation and the reference relation. So basically, I'll just let you explain you the lines and then I'll take a diagram and explain you. So tuples in the referencing relation have attributes fk called foreign key attributes and the references the primary key attribute of the reference relation. So this needs to be equal. Just let me show you the diagram. So here you can see the tables. We have different tables like employee and department, department location, project, works on and dependent. So we just concentrate for now only on two tables, employee and department. Okay, now let's check what are the attributes in the employee table. So first is the F name, M init, L name, SSN, B date, address, sex, salary, super SSN, DNO, where primary key is the SSN. How do we understand that SSN is a primary key? You can check there is an underline under this SSN. And similarly, in department we have department number, D number, and manager SSN and manager start date. Okay, where department number is the primary key. So you can just see under this department number you have this underline. So this is the primary key of the department table. Now you can check the employee and the employee table. There also DNO is mentioned. DNO is nothing but the department number. If you want to refer to the department number of the employee, okay, just you have this number, and if you want to find out the name of that person, just check the department table. So this is the reference relation, that is the reference table and the referencing. Okay, so you can see here this department number is acting as the foreign key, and here department number is the primary key. Okay, now if you want to check, this is the foreign key, right? If you want to check the department, like all the manager SSN or manager start date, or the name of the department in which he works on, like name of this employee in which he employee which this the name of the department in which this employee works on, just you need to reference the table which is mentioning. So this is the referential integrity. Okay, so you have a one, this is the foreign key, this is the primary key. So then just go back to this line. Referential integrity constant involves two relations, the referencing relation and the reference relation. So we first table is the referencing and this is the reference relation. So this one, just let me show you. This is the referencing. Okay, so if you want to refer to any table, this is the referencing. This DNO, this is a foreign key. Okay, and this is the reference table. By going under, we are having this department number. If we want to check the name of the department in which this particular employee works on, then we can just refer to this table. So that is why it is known as the reference table. This kind of constant is also known as foreign key primary key constant. Okay, so a tuple T1 in R1 is said to reference a tuple T2 in R2 if T1 of foreign key equal to T2 of primary key. We have seen, right, this DNO, this employee of DNO is equal to the this one department number of department number, right? So a referential integrity constant can be displayed in a relational database schema as directed by an arc. So if we want to represent it, you need to show an arc. Okay, so see, we are referencing, so it is representing using this arc, arrow mark. So we are using in this DN department number, we are referencing to this department number. So that is why this is the reference relation and this is the referencing relation. So this was all about the referential integrity constraint. Now let's take representation of relational schema and its constants. How do we represent it? The diagram, the last diagram I showed is just the relational schema representation. So each relation schema can be displayed as a row of attribute names. So just you can see, you can represent the tables as a row of the attribute names. So this is the name of the table, employee. You can know, like you can represent the attributes in such a way. So you can say this is one relation, right? And this is another. You can similarly, employee has this relation, attributes and department. So this is how you represent a relation. Okay. Next is the name of the relation is written above. Just we are now here seen the primary key attribute will be underlined. Okay, you have seen that it is the primary key is always underlined. In department location, we have to, this combination forms a primary key. That means this department location is a weak entity. It himself does not have a primary key. It needs to combine two attributes to have a primary key. That is why it is known as the weak entity, not relation, weak entity. Similarly, project has this project number as the primary key. Works on has this. It's a weak one. So it is ESSN and PNO as the combination is forms the primary key. Then we have dependent. Dependent is again a weak entity. So it is like ESSN and department name forms the your department names together forms the primary key. Okay. Now let's move above. A foreign key or referential integrity constant is displayed as directed. So just now we have seen. So if you want to mean it, so you see this super SSN, you can see we have studied when we were studying about the ER diagram. So if you need any revision on the ER diagram, probably in the next class we can go through it. Okay, so we can have a recursive relation also, right? That is the super SSN is referencing. So we have a foreign key here only. So the super SSN is referring to this SSN. Similarly, this DNO just now I told you is a department number. This manager SSN refers to this SSN because manager SSN is referring to this because manager is also ultimately an employee, right? So this is the condition. You will if your ER diagram is clear, then this one will be clear. Okay, if you have confusion in the ER data model also, I am ready to explain you in the next class. Okay, I think these things need some revision. Now tell me, do you have any confusion in this part?
No, ma'am. I don't have any confusion.
No, ma'am.
No, right? What about this?
No.
Okay. Referential integrity constant clear? Referential integrity?
Ma'am.
Yes, like students, this time I cannot ask you questions, right? I cannot go for exams. So you people need to clear the doubt, study on your own and tell me what are the confusions you have. Okay? And any other part you have confusion or others, like apart from this part? Okay, in the next class, I'll go for the ER data model. Please study on your own ER data model. I'll also discuss about it. Okay, let me take the attendance for today. Just wait. Please study ER data model. Okay, and Wednesday we have lab class. So we'll study. We'll do joins. Okay, you all can leave now.